My name is Renee Leduc. I'm based out of Arlington, Virginia. I own my own policy consulting firm called Narayan Strategy. That firm focuses on really policy related to weather, climate, and aerospace. I went to college thinking I was going to study biotechnology, something with microbiology. But then I realized that I really enjoyed ecology classes. I had the opportunity to use some Landsat data printouts, specifically to track elephant rangeland. Fast forward to when I was in graduate school, and I saw a job opening at NOAA, and it was a job inside of NOAA's Satellite and Information Service, otherwise known as NOAA NESDIS, inside of their International and Interagency Affairs Office. And they were looking for someone specifically with experience in Africa. And I told the story about using Landsat data and how I use that, and they're like, "You're hired." And so since then, I worked on basically a number of different projects in sub-Saharan Africa, related to both the National Weather Service as well as NOAA NESDIS. My final position there was serving inside of the NOAA Congressional Affairs Office, serving also as a senior policy advisor on satellite policy to two different NOAA administrators. And so that really gave me a great understanding from really a public policy point of view of how is it that really the policy gets made around NOAA, and particularly related to satellite procurement and satellite operations. And sometimes that takes the form of creating agreements. It can take the form of trying to draft legislation, or more likely responding to legislation which has been drafted. It's about communicating. It's about building relationships together with a wide variety of different stakeholders. It's really talking to them in terms that they understand, and then being able to say, and given what you need out of your weather forecast, I can then step that back and say, well, we need funding for X, or basically we need this policy change, or this is what's happening inside of this program so that we can improve weather forecasts. And so it's policy, but I spend a lot more time really trying to communicate effectively with people than actually writing things down on paper that becomes a policy. But to be able to get funding inside of a highly competitive atmosphere, especially for federal funding, you have to be able to sum up the essence and value of what it is that you do. And basically, if you don't speak that value in words that make sense to that person, then you're just not going to get what you need. Really learn to build relationships with people such that if we have a highly technical conversation about something, I can then say, okay, so I just wrote up these 2 sentences about that 20-minute discussion we just had. Can you take a look at this and see if this is how you would actually agree with how I summarized it? Writing is absolutely crucial. I find that I frequently need to use both certainly persuasive writing to really get to what they care about, to then try to create a linkage between what it is that our community cares about, or really what my client cares about, and then link that to what their priorities are. And being able to sense inside of a room, if, say, a person that you're meeting with, if they seem really uncomfortable, being able to then shift communication strategies to then be able to be like, how can I ask better questions to then be able to make people feel more at ease, and therefore more trustful of what it is that we're trying to convey about the value of really Earth system science. There are so many different needs inside of our community for people with different skills. be sure that you are reaching out to meet as many people as possible and really tell them about where your passion lies, because people are attracted to and want to work with other passionate people. And that's what I love about working inside of all of this. That's why I love Earth System Science, because we are committed to really the mission. And really I feel like there are lots of different ways to really get engaged.